My name is Ndekezi Ange Gabriela. I'm the country manager of Koderina. Today, we're in Huye at the Ethnographic Museum here in Huye, where we came to see what archaeology is all about. One of the facts that we got to understand is that Rwanda only has up to 2 archaeologists, and today we have the opportunity to discuss with one of the archaeologists here in Huye. We got to understand what archaeology is all about, some of the challenges being faced by archaeologists in the country, and we got to understand how archaeology is in line with the past, but also looking at some of the tools that they use in archaeology, from the research that they do, to the digging, to the analysis of some of the results that they get, until the time where they get to publish some of these findings. This will give you the right information to work on the solutions, because we realize that there's a gap in the technological tools being used by archaeologists. And today, you can be one of the change makers in the country, where you work on the right solutions needed by archaeologists and create the impact in your community. Hello.
Hello, you are welcome.
Thank you. My name is Gabriela. I'm the country manager of Koderina. Koderina is an EdTech organization that works with the Ministry of Education to introduce robotics to students in different schools. And this year, our theme is FLL UNEARTHED, which is a challenge about archaeology, where we get to understand some of the challenges faced by archaeologists. So it's an honor to meet you as an archaeologist and to understand what archaeology is all about and some of the challenges faced by archaeologists. Thank you.
You are welcome, Gabriel.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. My name is Ntagwabira Andre. I'm a researcher at the Rwanda Cultural Heritage Academy, but I'm based here at the Ethnographic Museum in Huye. As you said, I'm an archaeologist. It's my pleasure to discuss about archaeology with you.
Yes, thank you.
Please come in.
Yes.
Okay. Normally, archaeology is a scientific study of the past. Everything which belongs to the past is history, but in a scientific way. We have the definition of history, we have the definition of archaeology, we have the definition of oral tradition. Why do I mention all this? Because archaeology is the study, the scientific study of the human past, the behavior of our ancestors from the old days to the present. But how do you get to know those behaviors that are past? You can use documents, written documents. That's history. When you have sources like a written document, that's history. But the writings is something which is recent, especially here in Rwanda. We know our history, which is written since the colonial period. That's 100 years ago. But Rwanda is older than 100 years ago. But you can know the history using oral traditions. Oral tradition, they are all those things which has been memorized and passed by generation to the generation, but they are rakinas because the human being, the way we are created or the way we are done, it's hard to remember something which happened 500 years ago. Sometimes you forget something, or there are some people who tell the story and they attempt to fill the gaps. So they are rakinas. But the past of the human being, the history of the human being has been there since when the human being was there. The human being is there. There is 2.5 million years ago. When there is a human being, there is a history. They are a footprint. And those footprints, those he left behind, they are within the archaeological record. They are in the earth. That's the archaeology. When you dig, you look at those contexts, you look at what is there. You may not find an object, but even the stratigraphy, the way the stratigraphy are superposed, that you can know the history. That's the part of archaeology. So within this museum, we have the object which can tell you about the past of the Rwandans using oral traditions, using objects which have been collected from the families, but there are others which have been found within the archaeological context. Let's show me.
Yes.
This is an example. These are the grave goods which were found within the grave of King Kirima to Rujugira. King Kirima died at the end of the 17th century, more than 300 years ago. As I said, how can we know the history of what happened 300 years ago? There were no writings, there were no photography, there were no films, but these objects which were found within his graves, they can tell more about who was the king, his behavior, and the way he was, the way he fought, the culture of the time. So that's an example of archaeological materials. See, those are hammers, those are spears, those are shell things, shell beads, metallical objects, and stones, different stones. Yeah.
Oh, these are stones?
Yeah. This white one. I explain just a little bit. Let's use this spear. This is a kind of spear. Have you ever seen this kind of spear before?
No, it's my first time seeing that.
And do you think this can be used for war or for any other purpose?
Yes.
Like which one?
I believe in the past some would use it for.
Not this big one. Not this big one. These were for rituals, which means that if something which was used in ritual activities have been put among the grave goods of the king, it means that the specific rite within which this spear was used was in relationship to the role of the king. Because normally our belongings, they are the ones we used in our daily life, which means these spears were used within the daily life of the king, but the ritual ones. Maybe I won't explain
Yes.
more. Just another thing is this part. This part within this vitrine, the story which is here is about iron smelting activities. Iron smelting technology is the technology of making iron objects using stones, the stones which are called iron ore. This technology started around 500 before Christ within the region where Rwanda is now. And it did have an impact on the life of people living in this area, especially Rwandans. How? Iron objects like spears you've seen, like hoes, like machetes, like everything made of iron was used within our daily life as objects we use in our daily life. Others, they were used within ritual purposes, like the spears, ritual spears I saw, you saw there. Others, they were used like weapons. And those weapons, especially those weapons, they contributed to expanding the country. So from this simple object, you may know the history of Rwanda, how Rwanda was expanded, how iron smelting technology contributed to the expansion of the country. So that's an example of how an object, just a simple object, may talk about technology, may talk about the history of a country, of a people during a specific period.
Yes, now I'm interested to know, as an archaeologist, what is your job on a day-to-day basis? What does an archaeologist do?
Normally, an archaeologist is someone who does archaeology. It's to search the past using archaeological materials. Either you have a project you are working on of having a research project, going to the field looking for the materials, coming back from the field, processing the materials, analyzing them, and interpreting them and publishing. Normally, that's the range of the works an archaeology does. So depending on the stages of research where you reach, you may be within interpretation today, tomorrow you go to the field for excavation. So it depends. But on a daily basis, what an archaeologist deals with is to deal with the past, interpreting, studying the past of a people, of a country, of human beings using archaeological materials.
Yes, thank you. I also wanted to ask, you've talked about the digging and excavation. I wanted to understand, what are some of the challenges that come with this process that you just shared?
One, where do you dig? Because if you are to dig, you do not dig the whole country. How do you choose where to dig? Selecting the site, finding archaeological site. It's a challenge. Once the site is selected, the way you find it, is it disturbed or not disturbed? Because when a site is disturbed, this is, for example, this is a slag. This slag, if you find it on your way, on the road, on the path, it's a stone, a normal stone, if it is out of its context. Because what matters is the context within which the slag is found. So sometimes you find the site, but a site which is disturbed. When a site has been disturbed, when the context is not original, it's a big challenge because you can't interpret the material found within that specific site. Another challenge is the fragmentation. Sometimes you find a fragmented object which won't tell more about the history you are looking for. For example, this used to be a hot pot, and now it is a pot shed. If you find a pot shed like this one, you do not know where are the remaining parts. And sometimes, depending on the material you are dealing with, sometimes a small find may be useless because it won't help to know to give the whole context. So that's also a challenge, fragmentation. Another challenge, like in African countries, where there is not enough equipped laboratories, there is a challenge of dating archaeological materials. Often we use relative methods, because within archaeology you may use absolute methods or relative methods. So you do not have enough money for shipping objects to developed countries where you have well-equipped laboratories, yet you must study or write the history of a country, so it's a challenge. Because archaeology, it can be done, it's not expensive, but there is a minimum. There is a minimum where you want it to, if you want to be a proper archaeologist, you need the minimum, there is a minimum cost for dating objects. Those are, that's another kind of challenge. Another thing is that we do not have modern technologies. In other part of the world, archaeology is being revolutionized using technologies. For us, we are lagging behind. We are still using classic methods, which are often destructive methods, like when you are digging a find or a site, or when you are doing a survey. So those are challenges.
What are some of those modern technologies that you just shared that are used worldwide in different countries? What are some of those modern technologies?
It depends on the stage of the research. But like when you are looking for the site, you are surveying, you are looking for the site. Others, they in developed countries, they may use aerial photography, where you have a plane, aircraft, you take pictures and you analyze the pictures. You may, that's one. Second, you may not find a site, a conspicuous object on the soil, but beneath there is something. In other parts of the world, they have things like ground penetrating radars, where you have an instrument you walk along with, and you will have an image of what is beneath. So for us, we do not have. While excavating, you need to do a meticulous record. Sometimes you may excavate an object which is very fragile, which won't withstand like 2 days when it is removed from its original context. So in that case, when you have like a 3D scanning system, so that you can scan it while it is fresh, because tomorrow it will be damaged, that can be very important. You do not lose data. When you do not have like a 3D scanning technology, then you see what you can be confronted with.
Yes, thank you. You mentioned that sometimes it's not on the surface, that sometimes there is that requirement of digging. Can you take us through that process of an archaeologist in Rwanda, on that process of digging and being able to find the objects that are not on the surface? And what are some of the risks that come with it without using the modern technologies that you had shared?
Yeah. First, an archaeological site is like a book. You know, a book is made of different pages, and when you read from the beginning up to the end, then you will have the whole idea of what happened, of the story written within the book. So is the archaeological site. The only difference which is between the paper book and the site is that from the beginning you understand what is written within the book. And when you forget something, you can go back to the page and read it again. But within the archaeology, for the archaeological site, in order to understand what happened there, you destroy it. You destroy the site, and you will understand what happened after destroying the whole site, after destroying the whole book. And there is no way to reverse if you didn't understand something, which means in order to be able to understand the site at the end, you must dig it meticulously. You must record. You must be careful. Because when page 1, you end with page 1, you go to page 2 within the book. So within the site, there are contexts which are superposed, layers. When a layer changes, it is like a page which changes. Another thing you need to know that in archaeology, when you are digging a site, there is a superposition principle. Something which is above is recent, something which is beneath is older. You need to keep that in mind, and you do not mix. Which means that when you are digging, you must have a notebook where you write what you see with your own eyes. You must have a camera for taking pictures, so that just in case you need to look at the way it was. Apart from that, you need to have a measurement object so that you measure. Because it's the context which is there which will help you to interpret. If this is a pot, if something was beneath the pot, is different from something you will find inside the pot. Those are different contexts. So if you say, this is the important, I found it within the pot, inside the pot, but me, I don't care, it's just an object. No, it's not that way archaeology is done. You need to know where was the object found exactly, in what context, what distance compared to other objects, and so on. I will give you an example, a specific example of an archaeological site we excavated in 2019. From 2017 up to 2019. It was in Rurengera. There were ritual pots which belonged to King Kigeli Rwabugiri. Those ritual pots, they have been broken. Someone came and broke them because they didn't want them. The way they have been destroyed, you can analyze how someone or in which context they have been destroyed. How? For instance, if I destroy this one, the pot sheds won't come this way. They will go this way. Which means that an archaeologist who will be digging here, if he is a good archaeologist, he will be able to know someone who brought these came from which direction. He came from this way. Because if the pot is broken this way, then the pot shed will spread within this direction, which means that someone who broke it came from this direction. That's an example. So the distance between objects, the relationship between objects matters. So you need to record, you need to take pictures, you need to write something where what you see, and so on. If you finish the first context, what is a context? A context is different from other contexts. You may find this layer is full of pot shed. This is full of sand. This is full of something else. So you see the way layers change when you are digging. And the layers, similar layers, belongs to the same period. So that's what you do. Even though you do not have a technology, a 3D technology of scanning, but you can use your own eyes. You can use your own pencil and draw. You can use your camera to take pictures.
Yes, thank you. As you had mentioned, every object is important. And I wanted to understand, what is that process of analysis once you're done doing the digging and you're able to get the object? How do you now go to that process of analysis, and is it easy or is it also complex, and does it also include some sort of technologies based on other countries that also?
It's not easy. It's not easy because when you are processing archaeological materials, first you need to wash them. There are some tiny objects which are difficult to wash. There are some fragile objects which are not easy to wash. That's a challenge. Second, you need to do classification. You classify objects. You classify objects on the basis of their attribute, because those with the same attribute will help you to understand the story behind. So sometimes when you have many objects, it's hard to detect their attributes. Some of them are easy to be detected, but others are sophisticated. Like an attribute, if you say these are pot, it is easy to know that these are pot, these are pot, these are pot, these are pot. But like this design, which is here, you see it is different from this design which is here, and is different from this design. And you need to classify first pot together, but which designs? The designs also must be together. So sometimes there are some attributes which may be hard to be detected easily. So that like on the tiny object, it may be difficult to do classification. And then after classification, you have a typology. And it is on the basis on the typology that you will be able to interpret. First, you compare objects from different sites, and you will be able to interpret. For instance, if you have like this pot with this motif or this design, you have a number of them, and they are may be dated, like this one is dated in around 2,000 years ago. If you have a number of them from different sites, then you will be able to know that people living in a specific area 2,000 years ago, they were using this type of technology for making pots. And you may see the change in design. And if the change in design is dated like 300 years later or 400 years later, then you will be able to know, to say, after this specific period, the design changed. And the task is to know why the change of the design. You need to know why. So that's way things are done.
Yes, so before we get to understand how archaeology is linked with our history, I wanted to understand, with the use of technology, how much impact do you believe technology would have on archaeology?
Of course, it's a huge impact. Why? It can facilitate works. For instance, like when you are looking for the site. Imagine when you are walking around within the forest. You are like 20 person. You must do a survey on like 5 hectares. It's hard. But if you are using a satellite imagery, then it will be easy to have a big photo and analyze on the basis of that photo. And what you will see on the photo, that's what you will go to see on the ground. Like, I will give you an example so that you can understand. When there is like a river, a place which used to be a river, and after it was filled with the soil, that specific part, because of the soil which is there, the vegetation which will grow up there will be different from the vegetation which is not in the riverbed. When the trees are like 5 meters tall or 10 meters tall, it is hard to see that there is difference on the way trees are. You can see it on the basis of the image taken by a satellite rather than going around. So that's an example of the imagery. Satellite imagery can help to find archaeological site. Another example is like when you are digging. When you are digging, even though you are meticulous in recording, but there are some details which you may not be able to draw. And when you remove an object, those details may lost. But when you have a 3D scanning technology where you can scan an object in different angles, then the camera won't lose any part of details.
Yes, thank you. The other question I had was to understand what are some of the archaeological sites that we have in Rwanda, and how many archaeologists are currently in Rwanda?
In terms of the number of archaeologists, so far I know 2 of them. I don't know if there are others, but I know 2. The types of archaeological sites we have, they are men and divided depending on the period. Because the history of humanity is divided, can be divided, archaeological period can be divided within 3 sub-periods. We have Stone Age, we have Bronze Age, we have Iron Age. Like in Rwanda, we have Stone Age sites. Stone Age site, we have Hypo Beach in Akagera National Park, a site which is older between 70,000 years and 40,000 years ago. We have another site which is currently in Rusizi district, which is called the site in the books, in archaeological books, the site is named Ruhimanjarja. That's how it was called when it was excavated in 1937. But today, when you go there, the site is known as Kurutare Rw'Abarundi. It is in Rusizi district. I mentioned that site because it is like a transitional period from Stone Age to Iron Age. When they excavated that site, they found that they were layers, a mixture of objects belonging to the Stone Age and others belonging to Iron Age. That's an example. And for the Iron Age period, we have a lot of sites. We have like a site which is called Kabusanza. Kabusanza is here in Huye district. It is a site dated in the 4th century AD after this. We have sites like Chamukuza here in Gisagara. We have a site like Remera. Remera is an important site because of one reason. You know, in Rwandan history, the Rwandan history has been distorted. When it was written during the colonial period, it was distorted in the way, in some books they said, Rwanda is inhabited by different people from different, who came from different regions of Africa. They said the earliest all indigenous Aritwa, then came Hutu from part of West Africa, then came Tutsi from the north, the Horn of Africa. But the sites of Remera, the site of Remera has challenged that way of telling history. What was found there? Whilst it was said that the Tutsis came in Rwanda with cattle, and there was no cattle before their arrival in between 14th and 16th century. That's how it was written, and that's what it was taught in schools. The site of Remera revealed a tooth of a cow. So, and that tooth was dated in the 4th century AD, when there is the remains of a cow, which is older than the way they are said the Tutsi came with the cows, and there were no cows before the arrival of the Tutsi. How can you justify the presence of the cow in Rwanda in the 4th century AD? You see, that's a site which is really worth of destroying the Hermetic myth. And You see, here there is the tooth I'm talking about. This is the tooth of the cow. It has been found at Rimera, and it is dated within modern techniques of dating in laboratory. It is dated in 3rd century AD, and if you look at the books written during the colonial period, most of them, they would say that this period, there were no cows in Rwanda. And what is this? This is the remains of a cow. So you see, we have different sites depending on the period. And most of them, if not all, they are more important in order to understand the history of Rwanda.
Yes, as I'm understanding, archaeology can be used as a tool to discover the past, but also to ensure that the truth is told about our history and not myth.
Of course. Because the archaeology, the way archaeologists, unless if you are biased, you can be a biased archaeologist. That's not archaeology, or it's not the thought of archaeology. But normally, archaeology it's a tool which can help to write a real history, because you can't distort the archaeology unless if you do it purposefully. But the object, you can't. This is the tooth of a cow. It's full stop. You can't say is a cat. It's full stop. It's the tooth of a cow, and if it is dated, it is dated.
Yes. So, as an archaeologist, what do you believe are tools that would support the two archaeologists that you mentioned that are in Rwanda? What are some of the tools that can be used to really support archaeologists, be in terms of research, in the digging, and analyzing the different data that we get from the objects that you shared? What are some of the tools you believe will be beneficial for archaeologists in Rwanda specifically?
What do you mean by tools? You mean like technological tools?
No, generally tools. You had shared one being the laboratory in terms of analyzing information on how that is a challenge, but I wanted to understand beyond that, what are some of the other tools that you believe will be beneficial?
Like when you are digging, you use a trowel. A trowel is an instrument for an archaeologist. I don't know if you know the trowel.
Yes.
The brush. Because you trowel back and you brush. The sieve. Because there may be something within the soil which you didn't see while troweling back. So you need to sieve the soil in order to see if there are no specific object that can be lost. Another thing is the damp level. The damp level will help an archaeologist to know exactly where was the object within the archaeological site, the height on which an object is found. Other specific tools are the bags, the finding bags, because if you have finds, you need to have it, to care for it. So you need a finding bag, a specific finding bag. Another thing is the pencil. You draw the map of the site. You draw the sections on the wall of the trench, and the camera, of course. After drawing, you need to take a picture. Apart from that, you need different tools for recording, like notebook, graph papers for drawing.
I wanted to understand, why do we still have few archaeologists in the country, and what can be done to increase the number of archaeologists?
I think we have a limited number of archaeologists in the country because archaeology was not developed in Rwanda, because the first archaeological works which were conducted in Rwanda, they were conducted by Europeans who came to dig and went with the materials they found. So it was not a subject taught at Rwandan schools. You may study archaeology like, at the University of Rwanda in nowadays, you study archaeology as a subject, just some introduction to archaeology of Rwanda, but you can't specialize in archaeology because there is no department of archaeology. That one, it is not taught in Rwanda. Second, I think there is a misunderstanding. Even me, before I studied archaeology, I thought archaeology is something strange, is something difficult, but that's a wrong perception. Archaeology is very easy to study. It doesn't require any specific skills to study archaeology. But people misunderstood or have a wrong perception of archaeology. So what can be done in order to boost or to increase the number of people studying archaeology? There are two specific things. First, high institutions like universities, high schools, they need to have a program of archaeology, because you can't study it where there is no program of archaeology. That's on the part of the schools. On the part of the students, people need to change the mindset about archaeology. Archaeology is not complicated. Archaeology is a simple subject, and the most important object. Another thing that people like students or young people need to understand: when you are an archaeologist, you can build a career in archaeology. In which way? Like when you excavate a site and you find amusing materials, amusing objects, that site is dug once and it is in your credit. Whereas in history, you can write an article and someone will come after and write a good article than you. Then your article may be forgotten because there are other updated and good articles which were published after you did it. But when you excavate a site, when you investigate an area, it is done once. No one else will come and dig where you dug. So you see, I don't know if you understand. You dug a site and it is an amusing site, and that thing will be on your credit forever. between 2017 and 2019. The former Institute of National Museums of Rwanda formed a team, a research team, and we went to investigate at Rubengera. Rubengera was a royal capital which was built by King Rwabugiri, and King Rwabugiri built Rubengera specifically for attacking Ijwi Island so that he could prepare the wars from there. At that place, apart from to be a place built for that purpose of protecting and expanding Rwanda, it is a place where Rwabugiri celebrated Umuganura 7 times. There is no other similar site where Umuganura was celebrated 7 times in a specific place. A team that excavated there found the ritual pots which were used by King Rwabugiri when he was preparing wars for protecting the frontiers of Rwanda and expanding the country. Those ritual pots, they have been found by that specific team, and it's their credit forever. No one else will find those specific pots because they were ones they have been found by a specific team. That's their credit, and no one else will take it away. So you see, when you are an archaeologist, you may do a discovery which will be your credit forever, and no one else will take out that credit. Whereas in other subjects, you can do a research and you publish the results, but someone else will come and do better a research than you, and your results will be forgotten because other updated results have been published after you published.
Thank you. My last question towards the end of this discussion is to understand, as students are working on the project, there are different solutions. What are some of the things they should keep in mind as they're working with solutions that will benefit the archaeologist?
The things they can keep in mind is that archaeology is simple, but a challenging subject. Even though it is a challenging subject because of the nature of the way it is done, there is always the way of overcoming the challenges with minimum costs. We talked about technology, but still you can do archaeology without technology. But if you can bring in technology, it will be better. So it is doable. The field is almost virgin in Rwanda. They are full of opportunities, like the young generation embracing archaeology is embracing opportunity, because wherever I went, different countries I visited, it's because of archaeology. It was because of archaeology, opportunity offered me by archaeology. And while you will see where there is a job offer, you may be like thousands of candidates when you are competing for other positions. But for the positions of archaeology, you can imagine if there are 2 archaeologists in the entire country, the field is still virgin. Even though you are 100, 300, 500, they will find jobs. They won't miss the jobs because the field of archaeology is virgin. And you may work at the university, you may work in the museums, you may work as a consultant when you are an archaeologist. So archaeology is full of opportunity. That's what I can say. This is the dumping level. You may call it dumping level or dumping level. It works with this graduated stick. It is for measurement. What do you measure? When I will explain you a little bit. When you are excavating a site, I said it is like you are reading a book which you do not understand yet. The book that you will understand after destroying it completely, because that way you will know what was there and you will classify the object you found there. You will see the relationship between different objects, the spatial distribution of the object. So when you talk about the spatial distribution, the head on which this object was compared to the head of this object, you need this instrument. At the site, you will find a temporary benchmark. A temporary benchmark may be a tree, a temporary benchmark may be a big stone, a temporary benchmark may be like a house, something which will rust at the site. You measure it when you have this graduated stick, and someone will look through this dump level and see the head. Maybe if it's here, then you know the head between the land, the surface of the land and this, yes? And as you dug, as you are excavating, you reach like at 3 meters beneath. Then if you find like a bone somewhere, you will take your graduated stick there, like this. You have your dump level there, and you put it on the top of the object you found, and you look through the dump level, and you will see like it is 1.7. If it is 1.7, whereas on the benchmark you had 1 meter, then you will know that your object was found at 1.7 below the line to the dump level, which equals to 0.7 from the surface to the object. And you will reproduce the map of the site, including the settlement or the different areas where you found different objects, and everyone will understand if it was it is a site which was excavated like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, then he will understand at what height were the object, and he will be able to compare. If he's an archaeologist, he will be able to compare different contexts. For instance, if it is a pottery, a kind of pottery, which is found at this site within the context which is at 50 below centimeters. At another site, you find the same object at a site, at a specific site, like 45 beneath surface. Then you will understand what the difference between the height those objects you've found. When you draw the map or when you analyze the site, it's like you have the whole map of the site, the way things were superposed within the site, within your head, because you recorded it. Mainly, it is for measuring the height of the object, where they are within the surface, within the site. That's simple. Because you need to understand how objects are scattered within the site, within different layers. It's not digging with the hose, it's digging with the trowels. It's scratching back until you reach an object. Imagine when you are excavating like the grains of sorghum and you use a hoe, what can happen? So you need a specific instrument, a small instrument like a trowel, to trowel back. This is the trowel. When you are setting up the trench, the site, because when you are digging the site, you dig it by unit, and this is like the first unit. You see, this is 1 meter by 1 meter, and you take the nails through these holes. Take this nylon string within these holes, right? So you have these ones. You will take it again, this one, like this one. So you have like a paper. You see? You have it like you see the cahier quadrillé. So you have different units, 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter. This will help you to draw. Suppose that this is an object you found there. This is an object you found there, and you need to draw it, and you reproduce the unit on the paper. You know, within your mind, the paper is a drawing paper, is a paper with different things like this, yes? And your object was like this one, yes? You come up at this, you see, this is within 10 centimeter from here to here. You measure this and you say, this is 5. You come here, you say, within this corner, the object here was at 5 here. From here to 5. And you measure this. This is 20, and here is 20. Yes? From here is 20, and the other 20 is here. And this is this angle. This is this angle. So you come up at this. This is 20, and this is in 15. This object is here in 15, 16. On this side it is 10, 16. And then you know, it is this way. It is not this way. The object is not this way. It is this way. Which means there is a distance from here up to here. And here is in 12. Here it is 15. It is 12 in 15. And how big is it? It is like 5. It is 5. Here is 5. Then, as how long is here is 10. It is 10. Going here is 10, like this one. Then, as you look at it, and you have this repair, you can do this one. You draw, you design it, cut it, you design it, look at it, you design its braid this one, like this one, like this one, like this one. You see, this is an object which was there, and in order to know something which is beneath, you need to remove it. You take a picture, you draw it, and you remove it. When you will be interpreting, because the site is destroyed, and it is destroyed forever, but you have the layers on the papers. You know the object was within, you have a compass, it will show you the north. Then in order to take the picture, you will indicate where is the north. Take like this one. Take like showing the north. But you need also to know how big was this object. Then you put this one. You put like this, so that someone who sees the pictures, may know how big was the trowel, the position of the trowel compared to the north, and the angle of the trowel. Then, as you have this record, and you will be able to interpret this object compared to other objects. The angle, everything. So when you have this meticulous way of recording things, you destroy the site, but you have it on the papers. you have the recordings, so that at the end, after destroying the site, you know exactly at what height, about the height. You have your dumping level there, and you take your graduated stick like this one, you have this, and if the site is like it was, this is the temporary benchmark. The temporary benchmark was like 6, and now when you look at through the dumping level, you have like 11. Then you will know that it is 11. When you have 11 minus what was here is the soil, and then what remains is the head on which the object was. And you have your GPS. Your GPS, you know what the position of the head of the site compared to the sea level. So you have the site in whole dimension. The whole site for mapping up the site, because when you, after excavating the site, you map the site, you record everything which is there. A kneading mat, where as you kneel down, you can use this kneading mat. The helmet, like you can be excavating once we excavated in the caves. For instance, when you are excavating in the cave, there is something which can hit you on the head. This is a type of line level where you, if you want, like you are drawing a context, and you put up the string, a straight string from here to here. In order to be straight, you need this line. You need this instrument, because this water will let you know if it is straight. And the way you use it, do like this. Do like this. And the string is on that pole, the one is on that pole, then you see if it is straight. Yes? This is auger. This instrument is used when you want to see the stratigraphy, the change of the stratigraphy. You don't want to dig. Maybe you have a trench here and you want to know if the stratigraphy which was recorded here is similar to the whole site, or if it changes, it keeps changing. This auger will be used to drill the soil like this, and these things will be holding the soil, and as you take it up, you analyze the soil, you see if there is a change. And if there is a change, you notice a change, then you take your measurement tape. You measure within the hole and see how long it is 30 maybe, and you go to your section You see if it is like that, that context, that above 4 context is like 30 and is 30, then you know this context prolongs at a certain distance on the side.
Yes, thank you so much for your time. These
You're
were
welcome.
very great insights that we believe will be supporting the students as they work on their projects. Thank you.
I hope so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.